Hey everybody, happy Friday.
Happy Friday, everybody.
Well, it's the first Friday of 2023. And I saw someone say today that January is like one long Monday. And I don't know if that's true or not, but this week kind of felt like a whole week of Monday for the most part. Even though it was my birthday, which I guess was sort of like Sunday night. But
Yeah, one long Monday, January maybe. Certainly this week it's been long. It's not over yet.
No, it's still here. So today is National Take Down Your Christmas Tree Day.
Already done.
Yeah, ours is already done, but if you haven't taken down your Christmas tree yet, you might want to think about getting it done. And I don't care, it's none of my business if you take down your tree or not, but if folks could take down their outdoor lighting, I would appreciate that.
It starts to get depressing.
Yes. I'm driving through our gate and there's still a Christmas wreath on it, and it reminds me that Christmas is over.
I see somebody's yard lights and I tune my Sirius XM radio over to what should be holly, and it's like the roaring 40s or whatever. It's just not the same.
No. Well, Christmas will be here again before we know it. So
that's right.
It's all okay.
Yep. Yes, it will.
So I have these notes here. You have these notes here that are my notes.
Here, you take them then.
This is the latest San Diego. What are you doing?
Sticking my arm behind yours.
Oh, put your arm here. Okay.
You do whatever you need to
I'm
do.
not well, here. Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, we'll fight this out later.
Hands.
Right, we need more hands. We need an assistant. Okay, so I have the latest real estate data from the San Diego Association of Realtors, and this is for the month of December. What happened in December? So I'm going to talk about month over month briefly. What happened between November and December? New listings down 37%.
Yep.
Pending sales down 6.9%. Closed sales down 3.2%. And median sales price down 0.6%.
And that's just between November and December.
Yeah, so sellers holding out for their price.
Yes.
Now, let's talk about yearly trends. So we're talking about December 2021 to 2022.
Yes.
So new listings went down 41%.
Doesn't surprise me.
No. Pending sales down 32%. Closed sales down 49%. Now, here's the interesting thing. Median sales price for a home in San Diego County, this is attached and detached, was $765,000 in December of 2022. Guess how much it was in December of 2021?
The same.
Yes, $765. I mean, $1,000. Add 3 zeros onto that.
Yeah.
So it's the same. So we had this big run up in prices this year. Well, we ended up exactly where we started off.
So real estate market, you did all that work for nothing.
Right, good job.
Good job. No, I mean, that's about what we expected. I mean, it was an unsustainable, I wouldn't really call it a bubble because...
Well, we said it was unsustainable when it was happening. We're like,
Yes,
this can't, this can't persist, and it didn't.
Well, the things that couldn't persist, were extraordinarily low interest rates. That wasn't going to last forever. And then
we said that too.
Yeah,
I'm not going to say I told you so anymore, but we did. We did say that.
And then that run up in prices, it just, wasn't going to last. And it really didn't. The air came right out of that balloon, and now we're back where we started. We're starting 2023 in the exact same spot we started 2022.
Well, I'm looking at the peak of the market here, which we're calling around April of 2022, because that's when the median price on a single family home hit $1 million even.
Yep.
That's the most that we've ever seen for a median home in San Diego. So we're calling that the peak. So if you're looking at that period of time for all properties in San Diego, the median price was $875,000. And that's come down 12.57%. So we're down all properties about 12.57% from what we're calling the peak.
Oh, I see. Okay, right.
Is
that sounds about right? Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, that's all I have to say about that. Do you have anything to say about that?
Well, it'll be interesting to see the month-to-month numbers from December to January, because we really had a burst of activity in December.
The Santa rally?
The Santa rally, yes.
And that's not really reflected here yet because it happened at the end.
And I'm not saying that's going to push median prices up any, but I mean, for all of the doom and gloom and fear, uncertainty, and doubt that's been blown around out there, it's The numbers are fairly mundane in my view.
0.0.
0.0. Yes.
That's an Animal House reference for
Yes, it
those
is.
of you who are too young.
Yes.
All right, now I don't have to worry about where to put my arm anymore. I can just put it where
You can put it wherever you
put
want.
it right here.
Oh, there
It's
you
a
go. That's
comfortable
nice.
place for
That's
my arm.
Nice.
All right, well, let's talk about something else that's happening in San Diego.
Okay.
So the San Diego Zoo won an award for its entry in this year's Rose Parade.
Oh, nice.
It was the Animation Award. Their float was celebrating, I'm going to go ahead and say it. I'm going to call it the Safari Park. I don't usually say that. I call it by the old name, the Wild Animal Park. But since they just won an award, I'll go ahead and call them what they want to be called.
Sure.
So it was their 50th anniversary, and the theme was 50 years of conservation. So they had this animatronic scene. It was like giraffes and rhinos at the Wild Animal Park, and it was pretty cool. I did see a video of it, and then it reminded me that we forgot to watch the Rose Parade.
Well, it was on Monday.
Okay, so we remembered to watch it on Sunday, which is when it usually is, on New Year's Day.
Yeah.
And we're looking all over for it, and we're like, what's the world coming to these days? We can't find the Rose Parade. So I Googled it, and the reason we couldn't find it was because it wasn't happening.
Right.
So they don't have the Rose Parade on if it falls on a Sunday. If New Year's Day is on a Sunday, they'll do it the next day. And it was on Monday. And unfortunately, we were busy on Monday and didn't get to watch the Rose Parade.
As were a lot of people, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's probably on YouTube or somewhere else.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe we can still catch up with the Rose Parade. And I did see a clip of the zoo float, and it was really cool. So congratulations, San Diego Zoo. Wildlife Alliance, I think, is the official title now.
Was Andrew involved in that?
Oh, yeah. So our friend Andrew, he works for the zoo, and I remember seeing him post about how they were working on the float. So good job.
Nice work,
Yes.
Andrew.
And congratulations.
As always. A fine job.
Yes. So there's a lot of stuff going on in San Diego this weekend. We've got a Monster Jam coming up on Saturday and Sunday in Snapdragon Stadium.
That's the truck thing.
Yeah, the monster truck thing.
Nice.
So I was looking at the website, and you took John to that when he was a little guy, like, I don't know, maybe 3 years old. You and our friend Matt took
was
the
small.
sons to.
Yeah.
And back then, Gravedigger was like the star of the show.
Yes,
so I
they
looked
were.
at the website, and it seems like Gravedigger is still the star of the show. So I'm not sure why no one else has emerged as the champion, but Gravedigger is still holding the title.
That's the show.
Okay, well, so they're moving in 26 million pounds of dirt to Snapdragon Stadium.
That's what they do.
Yeah, and I've always wondered, and they never say, how do they get the dirt back out? Because it seems like that would even be a harder part than moving the dirt in.
It's
Much easier to make a mess than to clean it up.
Shovel trucks and dump trucks.
Shovel trucks and dump trucks. I used to know all the names of those, like when
Yeah.
John was little, the backhoe and the skid steer and all the official names for all the machinery, but
Excavator.
yeah, I've forgotten it by now.
Yeah, John used to be way into each and every different piece of machinery, what it was called and what it did.
So the San Diego Home Show is also happening this
Is that
weekend.
the fairgrounds?
Well, it used to be at the fairgrounds, and now they're having it at the convention center.
Oh, okay.
And they've got a bunch of home improvement exhibits. It sounds really cool. Unfortunately, we don't usually go there just because like big crowds and exhibits aren't really our thing.
Right.
If I could get like a cloak of invisibility, I might go. I still, I'd like to see it, but I just don't know if I can go down there and find parking and beat my way through the crowds to see the home improvement stuff.
I could teleport in and out.
With your cloak of invisibility, then I would do it.
That's okay.
Well, you don't even need the cloak. You just need the teleportation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure, being
Either way.
Being invisible, fine. I'll do that. I'll do that with you.
Oh, hey, Art. Happy New Year, Art.
Art, Happy New Year, man.
Maybe he's going to the home show or a Monster Jam. Art, he seems like the kind of guy who might like Monster Jam.
I'm
Art, are you
sure
going to
he's
Monster Jam
seen
this
it
weekend?
before, but I think Art's more into road.
Oh, the auto show was it last weekend?
Yeah, he was
yeah,
there.
I know Art was at the auto show.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so they have a bunch of categories of stuff at this at the home show. They've got bathrooms, flooring, kitchens, solar. And one thing that they had that I wasn't sure about, it was a liquid vinyl coating category. So I Googled it, and it seems like they coat all different kinds of stuff in liquid vinyl, including like you can coat your siding in it. It's like a paint stuff.
All right.
But they really didn't get into what, if that's what they were doing with it or not. So I'm kind of curious about this liquid vinyl coating and what that is.
That sounds interesting. I might like to be coated in liquid vinyl.
Well, go down to the home show and maybe they'll give you a demonstration.
Right.
All right, so this isn't really San Diego specific, but every year the faculty of Lake Superior State University in Michigan publishes an annual list of words that deserve to be banished from our vocabulary for misuse, overuse, and or uselessness.
Okay.
So number 1, and I agree with this one, goat.
Oh yeah. Got to stop with that, folks.
So they didn't like it for the same reason that we do. And I thought maybe everyone else had forgotten about this. But goat used to be like something unsuccessful or something bad.
Yeah,
like who's the goat in the family?
Right.
Who's,
if you're the goat, that's...
You're on the outs. That's not good.
Right.
But now it's apparently means greatest of all time, which to me it still means, not good. But
well, I object to all of this acronization of our language, where we say everything in acronyms for ease of texting or whatever. I read George Orwell's 1984 when I was a kid, and that's what they were.
Book.
It is, and that's what they were doing in
Newspeak.
Yeah, Newspeak. They were proud that they kept making the dictionary smaller and smaller.
Double plus good.
Yeah, they would like condense words and abbreviate things, and I don't know. Yeah, goat. To me, that's like, you're the goat. That's no good. I've actually started a file in my Google Drive of words and phrases I don't like.
Well, I bet there's some overlap between these folks and yours, and I have a couple more, and I know
that goat was right up there on my list. Greatest of all. Well, plus it would be fine to use it, but people throw it around.
Art agrees. That's right, Art.
Yes.
We all agree.
People just throw it around so readily. It's like, if you're the greatest of all time...
There can only be one.
Right. There can only be one, because you're the greatest of all time.
Right, that's it. You're done.
People are just like, oh, he's the goat, she's the goat, they're the goat.
They can't all be the goat.
This sandwich is the goat.
Sando.
Yeah, this Sando is...
That's on your list, isn't it?
Oh,
I still like to call a sandwich a Sando.
Folks, I don't know.
Okay. Oh, so the next one, gaslighting. They say it's overused. Well, I like that one because, some people in our house, and I'm not looking at you specifically, but there's one person we live with who's just born like really good at gaslighting.
Oh, he's
He's
so
an
good.
expert gaslighter.
Yes.
And, so I kind of have to call this person out. And
it's
kind of fun for all of us to accuse each other of gaslighting each other. It's
I don't really understand why it's
why
is that gaslighting?
I read this story one time, and there's a movie from maybe it was from the 40s or the 50s or something, and I don't remember the details, but this dude was trying to trick his wife into believing that she was crazy, and it had something to do with gas lights.
I see.
So it's when you try and convince someone that what they perceived it was incorrect.
Yes. You didn't see what you saw.
You didn't see or hear what you thought you saw.
Right.
Right.
Even though you did.
Right.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
I'm not so worried about that one, but okay.
So here's another one, and I think this is on your list. It is what it is. So they say it's a pointless cop-out, the folks in Michigan.
Yeah. I used to have a job where the boss would say that all the time, and it just, don't tell me that. It isn't what it is. It can be better.
Right, let's fix it.
It doesn't have to be what it is. We can do better.
Yes. So here's another one, and I say this a lot. Does that make sense?
That's a good one, though.
And I say it because sometimes I explain something, and I'm not sure that I explained it well enough for people to understand. So I say, does that make sense?
Right.
But apparently the people in Michigan think that, I shouldn't
Well, that's
be
a good one in the sales realm. If you're trying to explain something to somebody, when you say, "Does that make sense?" It's like a trial close or a.
Well, they say the confused mind doesn't buy, so it be what it be. Okay, Art, sure. However you want to mix it up, same thing. So yeah, you want to make sure people understand what you're saying before you move on, because otherwise people are going to be confused, and they're not going to be down for whatever you're working on.
Because to me, like in the language of sales, a lot of people say, "Sound good?" they'll explain something and then the salesperson will say, sound good?
Well, I don't know.
Right.
Maybe.
So I prefer to use, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah. That does make sense.
That makes sense, doesn't it?
Yes. So another one is irregardless.
Ooh.
And that's a double negative. That doesn't make sense. Like you don't say that. You can just leave off the ear and just say regardless.
Yeah. That's not even a word, right?
No, but people say that. So this is another one that's come up recently, quiet quitting. And that's where you just like do, bare minimum on your job until you get fired. And I think that's always kind of been a thing, but it only has had a name recently when
we should just call that lazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Slacking off.
Slacking off. Yeah.
Right.
There's another term for it that I can't say here because children might be watching, but I had a supervisor one time that called it something else.
You'll tell me later.
I will.
Oh, I know what he would say.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it.
No, we can't say that.
It's inappropriate.
Very much so.
Okay. All right. Well, that's all my notes. Do you have any?
Those are your notes?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure we're going to probably irritate some people with things that we don't like, but that's we got to fill 15, 20 minutes every Friday. So. Well,
we like to sit and chat. And sometimes the things that we say, we're trying to keep it
real and
light and fruity and real. But.
Well, that's the thing. When any social media expert always says you should be authentic, and so you really do get in these.
Art says at the end of the day.
Oh,
that's a good one too.
At the end of the day, yeah, that is a good one. Yeah.
At the end of the day, it is what it is.
At the end of the day, it is what it is.
Does that make sense?
Does that make sense? Because this sandwich is the goat.
Sando.
The Sando is the goat. Oh.
Well, irregardless, let's move on.
Yes, indeed. All right. Yes, we do try to keep it real. We try to give you a little window into our life, and this is the kind of crap that we sit around and talk about.
We could do this for hours, but nobody wants to see that. Well, some people do, but not very many.
And if we did do it for hours, the file that you have to download from Facebook to put on YouTube would be too big.
Yeah, so right.
That's part of our problem here is we're hamstrung by technology.
Mostly Mark Zuckerberg's fault.
Damn you, Zuckerberg.
Right, once again.
Yes. All right. Well, then we should end this fun and come back next week with more Art. Thank you for stopping by.
Yes, happy Friday, Art. And anyone else who may be watching now or later,
and
happy Friday.
Thank
you for stopping by.
Right. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment.
See you next time.
See you.